This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25, local news you can count on. Today's news is brought to you in part by Dr. George Leaks, Pahrumps optometrist since 1990, offering full spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Welcome. We hope you're having a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in to News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Missy Kohler. Thanks for joining us tonight. It is July 20th. It's a Monday.
Well, the governor has released a statement regarding the budget shortfall the state is facing. Sisolak says the Nevada legislature adjourned the 31st special session to fill a historic $1.2 billion budget shortfall caused by the COVID-19 global pandemic. As the final bills are transmitted to the governor for signature, he will sign them into law. During the session, the governor's office worked collaboratively with the legislative session to find an additional $138.6 million in funding, which will help restore additional Medicaid services, pediatric intensive care, inpatient and outpatient mental health services, money to reduce the number of furlough days for state employees from 12 to 6, and funds to reinstate merit pay for state employees, and additional funding to certain state employee layoffs. The governor will expedite the delivery of $50 million in coronavirus relief funds under the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Securities Act, which is the CARES Act, to the Nevada Department of Education for a new education grant program that will help students most impacted by the loss of in-person instruction due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, luckily, no one was hurt, but there was definitely a mess to clean up when a pickup truck smashes through the front of a Verizon store here in Pahrump.
The pickup ran into the front door and windows of the Verizon store located between Albertsons and Walmart Saturday afternoon. The crash shattered several panes of glass and mangled pieces of the window frames. Luckily, no injuries are reported. The crash didn't cause any structural damage. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue and Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies responded. The driver reportedly left the vehicle running when he went into a nearby business. It's not clear how the vehicle rolled forward on its own.
Thank you to Brad Francis for that report. Well, the Nye County Sheriff's Office is training the next batch of future law enforcement officers. This year's academy class is on target to graduate in September, and Sheriff Sharon Worley says all recruits are being cross-trained so they can be placed where they're most needed.
It was 2 academies ago that we decided that we would train people for the jail and also for Category 1 street, because they're 2 different certifications. So our academy was the very first one in the state to combine those things so that they have a dual certification. That way we can use them on the street and we can use them in the jail. They're interchangeable. First of all, it starts out with classroom training. They learn weapons manipulation. They learn the fundamentals of the firearms class. And then they take that class out to the range and they do their practicals.
We started with 14 recruits and now we're down to 7, which is above our normal attrition rate. Normally we lose approximately 30%, but this one we are at about 50% loss now. Nevada law requires only 480 hours for a Category 1 peace officer. We exceed that by almost double. It's just under 900 hours. We provide several in-house trainings that are specific to Nye County residents and some of the problems that we see. On top of that, I think we just expand a little bit more on some of the classes that are required for state law. For example, use of force is one of the most touchy subjects that we have to teach these recruits, and it's incredibly important. So we give them an entire day of just classroom understanding about uses of force, the proper application of force, the legal requirements and restrictions on the use of force. And on top of that, well, then we have to teach them the proper ways to use force, which is what they're doing this week. This week they're receiving the firearms training. Last week was less lethal munitions such as taser, OC spray, and then the week before that was hand-to-hand defensive tactics. Some of the training that we provide that's most relevant to law enforcement lately, and particularly very current events, is the cultural awareness and bias recognition training. We make sure that every officer is aware of biases that could exist, and we give them tools to counter those measures and make sure that they're out there treating everybody fairly. We have one recruit slated specifically for detention, and the others are going to be out on patrol, and they'll be dispersed between not only Pahrump, but we have some for Beatty, some for Tonopah, and even a deputy who's assigned specifically to the Gabs area. We haven't scheduled the next academy, but we just started talking about recruiting and the application process to start preparing for a future academy to fill vacancies that we already have. I anticipate that we'll probably start our next academy early into 2021, January or February approximately. If somebody's interested in working for the Nye County Sheriff's Office, the first step is to fill out a Nye County Human Resources job application, and they can download that at nyecounty.net, and instructions to submit that application are included on the website. Once they've filled that application out, then I'll get a hold of it, and I'll start making contact with them to let them know what the next step in the testing process is.
When we come back, we'll have the business report for you, and we'll tell you about an increase in COVID-19 numbers in Pahrump. Stay with us.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Star Nursery, your garden's partner for every bloomin' thing. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. Starting today, a number of major retailers are making masks mandatory. Cruise company stocks slip as the CDC extends its no-sale order, and British Airways retires its fleet of 747s. Angela Miles has more.
Starting today, major retailers are going nationwide with a mandate that customers entering stores wear a mask. Among the stores that you can expect to see the safety standard, Walmart, Target, Kroger, Costco, Walgreens, CVS, and Best Buy, just to name a few. A mixed reaction is coming from customers. Economists predict the economy has a better chance of survival if Americans can stay healthy. The no-sale order on cruise lines was set to expire on Friday, while cruise stocks slipped now that the CDC is extending no sale through September as COVID cases surge. British Airways is the latest airline retiring its fleet of iconic 747s. The airline tells CNBC it will operate more modern and fuel-efficient aircrafts. And Netflix shocking analysts and investors with news that it only expects to add 2.5 million new subscribers next quarter and not 5.2 million.
Nye County is reporting 244 confirmed cases of COVID-19 positives, with 26 cases in Pahrump and 1 in Tonopah. The county was also notified of 2 additional COVID-19 deaths. 41 of the Pahrump positive are from inmate detainees at the Nye County Sheriff's Office Detention Center in Pahrump, with 7 more in Tonopah. Reminder that the antibody positives do not count in the county's overall active total, why the Nye County Sheriff's Department has not responded to a request on the prisoner population and how they are mitigating the cases. Core Civic, who has reported 25 cases that are not counted here in Pahrump, has sent as response on their population. Core Civic says even before the confirmed cases in their facility, they have rigorously followed the guidance of local, state, and federal health authorities, as well as our government partners. We've responded to this unprecedented situation appropriately, thoroughly, and with care for the safety and well-being of those entrusted to us in our communities. For any further information, they have asked News 25 to contact the U.S. Marshal Service. We are awaiting a response from that inquiry. To see Core Civic complete response, you can go to our local Pahrump Facebook page. The upcoming seasons for many high school sports remain in limbo, and that's led to the suspension of football activities at Pahrump Valley High School.
Trojan head football coach Joe Clayton made the announcement in a letter to parents and students today. The suspension of football activities is effective immediately. Clayton says the decision comes after a lengthy meeting with the Southern Nevada Football Coaches Association, and he says everyone involved in the talks agree with the decision. In the letter, Clayton says under Phase 2 restrictions, the Pahrump Valley High School football program can no longer continue with the summer schedule at this time, and he goes on to say that given the current circumstances, starting the season on time is impossible. Clayton explains that the Southern Nevada Football Coaches Association has received very little communication and direction from the Nevada Interscholastic Activities Association as to what lies ahead for the upcoming season. Clayton says all of the Southern Nevada coaches want a football season, even if it's altered in some way, especially for the seniors, and of course, taking everyone's safety into consideration. In closing, Clayton says SNFCA coaches and the Pahrump Valley High School football staff needs everyone's support. He's asking that people contact the Nevada Interscholastic Activities Association Association to assist the coaches in voicing their concerns about making a decision about the football season immediately. NIAA's number is 775-453-1012.
Today, the Nevada State Treasurer announced the state's short-term rental assistance program for Nevadans experiencing financial hardship due to COVID-19 is now taking applications. The state of Nevada is providing $30 million to support the program using coronavirus relief funds authorized under the CARES Act. Rental assistance funds will be offered as a grant to eligible Nevada tenants and are not required to be paid back. Funds will be awarded on a first-come, first-served basis and will be paid directly to landlords on behalf of tenants. For more information, go online or call 211. When we come back, we'll have a story on a very special store that benefits the Never Forgotten Animals Society. Stick around.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyers, Nye County's injury attorneys. Don't get bullied by insurance companies. Call Jason Ernest and bully them back at 775-727-9500.
Well, the road to motherhood isn't always an easy path, especially for one Pennsylvania mom. 31-year-old Michelle was born without a uterus, but after undergoing a uterus transplant, her lifelong dream of becoming a mom finally came true. Kyle Mitchell-Miller tells her incredible story.
It was hard knowing that I would never be able to carry a child. One of my dreams was being able to carry my own.
Michelle was 16 years old when she learned she had a rare condition.
All my friends were starting to have periods, and I was the only one in school that hadn't started yet. We decided to do an ultrasound to see if I had a uterus. I didn't have one.
When she got married, Michelle and her husband Rich thought about adoption, but one day a Facebook post about a uterus transplant took them down a different road. She went through an in-depth screening process, and doctors determined she was a good candidate for transplant.
We are basically placing a new uterus into a woman, and this will allow them to become pregnant and carry a child of their own.
Michelle underwent a successful 14-hour uterus transplant at Cleveland Clinic and spent 6 months recovering at home.
She got pregnant with her first embryo transfer, which was very exciting, obviously, to her, but also to the whole team.
I didn't start to feel him kick until like 27 weeks. That was one thing like I wanted to feel and see was him moving.
The big day finally arrived.
I'll see you in a little bit.
Okay.
Up to you.
I was just trying to concentrate, like pretty soon there will be a baby.
Baby Cole spent a week in the NICU before going home in March.
Most of the time he is very quiet, very easy, smiles.
To know that somebody else's uterus helped me achieve him, and to hold him was like the best thing in the world.
At Cleveland Clinic, I'm Kyle Michael Miller.
Thanks so much, Kyle. Well, it's Monday, and you know what that means. It's time to meet another great pet available for adoption at Desert Haven Animal Society. Today, Darby O'Donnell introduces us to Scarlett.
Today's Save a Pet is proudly sponsored by Jason Ernest with Mountain West Lawyers. Call 775-727-9500.
Hi, I'm Darby here at Desert Haven Animal Society, and today we are joined with Scarlett. Scarlett is a German Shepherd mix. We believe she might be mixed with a Corgi. We're not sure. She has beautiful markings on her. She definitely has German Shepherd coloring where it goes in from the beige into the black colors. She is what I call a schmedium, where she's too big to be a small, but too small to be a medium. So she's quite dinky. She has a cute little personality. She came out here and immediately you got this like vibe from her that she's like arrived and everyone needs to pay attention to her. She's definitely a dog you want to spend some time out in the yard with so her personality can fully open up to you. If you want to come and see Scarlett or any of her friends here at Desert Haven Animal Society, please call them ahead of time to make an appointment to view the dogs. 775-751-7020, or you can always look them up on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society. Bye, Scarlett. Okay, goodbye.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Well, let's look outside on that weather cam. We've got the weather bug there at Pahrump Valley High School showing a little bit of clouds in the sky today.
And then Clark County Wetland Park looks pretty nice as well. Some clouds floating over.
And then, of course, some really great shots. I think we've got the Lund Bridge there and Lake Havasu. Beautiful over there. That's where I want to go take a trip and see that.
Yeah, when we return, beautiful.
It's great. When we return, we're going to, and there's Fort Lauderdale. When we return, we're going to have your weather here in Pahrump and surrounding areas. Wow, that's pretty. Yeah, Fort Lauderdale.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Good evening, I'm Missy Kohler. Michael has the evening off. Not a bad day around our area and not bad at all. The wind did kick up a little bit last night around Pahrump, but our surrounding areas, not too bad. 109 in Las Vegas with lows tonight of 85. Death Valley saw a scorching 119. Low tonight should be 88. Amargosa 108, 76 for a low. Beatty gets 103 today for a high. Nice low tonight of 72. In Goldfield, they saw 95 today. Should have a low tonight of about 61. Tonopah, 92, low 58 this evening. In Carson City, 96 for a high, 59 for a low tonight. Fallon, 101 with a low tonight of 64. And Fernley, 99 with a low tonight of 65. In Pahrump today, we reached a high of 106 with a sunrise this morning of 5:42 a.m. Just a little bit of humidity. For tonight, look for a low of 77. That'll feel good. 14% humidity, and sun should go down at about 7:58 tonight. For the rest of the week, not too bad. Tuesday's high 105 with a low of 79. Wednesday, we should see a high of 103, low 74, and then it cools down from there. Thursday's high 98 with a low of 72. Friday, a high of 99 with a low of 73. For the weekend, 99 both days, lows both days, 73. And again for Monday, 101 for a high with a low of 75. Not too bad of a week if I say so myself. Thanks so much for watching News 25.
Thanks so much, Missy. Well, Michael is off. He had some dental work, and so he'll be back really soon. I think he's going to be at the Board of County Commissioners tomorrow. But I do got to say, we are super excited because Ubaldo's going to be leaving to go for a little while because his girlfriend is having a baby, and he's having a baby. And so Ronan has been working in the technical directing there, so he's been learning all about that. So we are going to wish Ubaldo a great time off whenever that happens. Could be anytime soon.
We're so excited about that. It's very selfish reasons, you know,
I know,
baby.
we are, because we want to squeeze the baby. And so I keep saying the baby's going to be named after me, but I know her name is going to be Melody, Deanna Melody.
Nice try.
But I can't wait to see that baby. So anyways, we'll tell you more about that in the coming days and bug Ubaldo some more.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
I'm Missy Kohler. We thank you so much for watching, and we hope that you have a lovely evening.
Good night.